baby.
How's it going,
Episode
everybody?
7.
Episode 7. Sound a little girly there, I think.
Episode 7 of
The Gray Podcast with dudes that are old and gray.
Are you going to do your weight thing?
I'm fat, Blake. It doesn't mean like a weird.
We were doing some editing, and every episode we noticed where Carl goes, "Oh, I'm fat.
I'm so
Need to
big."
exercise."
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's
So
true.
today
on
The Gray, episode 7, we're going to talk about mental health. Men's mental health.
Sure.
The stigma around mental health for men and stuff like that. And signs to detect, like say you have friends that are
Struggling.
signs that can help you. Like
Need to punch you in the face.
maybe. And we're going to talk about seafood and lobster.
I love lobster. Well, I mean, I'm kind of sick of lobster, to be honest.
And well,
But it's good, though. Especially when you don't have it all
and
the
we're
time.
going to finish off with
I'm getting clicks and pops. I'm not happy. I have to fix that.
a spicy topic.
Spicy topic like habanero? Is it habanero? Oh, habanero. Habanero.
We're going to talk about
habanero.
polyamory
Polyamory.
and polygamy.
Polygamy. Which one's which? I don't know.
So,
I forget. However,
We'll
I
get
love
to
all the
that.
ladies.
I'll give you
All the ladies.
a brief summary of what's
Okay,
what.
good, sure. Yeah.
So let's get started. Let's get into mental health. So, to start, I mean, for me and you, it's something we both struggle with. Like,
mental health?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right.
No,
Like, I've been
I
on
hate people.
I've been on antidepressants.
Yeah.
I've certain things. The weather affects my mental health.
Yeah.
Like this weather is bad shit for me.
4 days there, and it's not so bad right now for me. But like when you have this for months and months at a time, it's a thing.
And like for me, I feel like between fall and winter, I get seasonal depression a bit. Like everything, the leaves are dying. It affects me. Like I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah, more lethargic and less.
So yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Agreed. Yeah, I have a couple of sisters who has the daylight light thing, like the
Daylight savings time affects them. Like
daylight savings time. No, no, that's not what I mean. They have like a lamp, a lamp that represents daylight with the same frequencies and stuff. So, so show that in your face, and then it'll give you the vitamin D or whatever you need to help you with the moods. Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Yep.
And
people in Vancouver must really need help.
But even Nova Scotia
is it gray as well?
It's rainy there, man. They get a lot of fucking rain, like a lot of.
Right. So probably like Vancouver then.
Similar, I would assume, yeah.
Because I live near Halifax, on Dartmouth side, but Halifax really. And the foghorn, you could hear the foghorn once in a while.
Yeah, right. And
and luckily though, for being New Brunswick, thank you Nova Scotia for protecting us from all the storms.
Yeah, NPEI. The lesser provinces protects
the lesser province. No, don't say that. Then they'll cut off our help. You can't, but
I'm just messing. So mental health is a thing, especially. I feel it's more prevalent now. People talk about it a bit more now, compared to let's say 20 years ago.
Yeah. I especially like my dad's day, essentially how you deal with mental health was you became an alcoholic.
Yeah. And you just suppressed whatever you felt, and your way of dealing was drinking or drugs. Or
a lot of times, even today, a lot of people who are on the street are dealing with mental health stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
And really part of the reason I think that they're on the street is because of that drug issue, and that kind of takes over.
Definitely, and things that might have happened to them in their youth and their upbringing, right? Yeah. And they can't deal with these subjects on their own, and they turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs,
just to ease the pain or quiet the thoughts. Or
definitely.
Like even for myself, when I went through my downward spiral, I was injuring myself.
See?
I was starting to hurt myself, and then when I realized where all this pain was coming, like physical action, like why the fuck is my hand like half broken?
Yeah,
it's because it's a coping mechanism.
Yeah, definitely. And for so long, and I think this is a guy thing. Like this aspect is like, I feel that women are just better than us at talking about how they feel.
Oh yeah, they could talk forever.
They could, but then again, so could we on the Gray podcast.
On the Gray. Oh my god, we him like Raz. Right? Oh, it's great. I love it.
You've noticed in the earlier episodes how we just we'll take a topic and just not even touch it. Just raw.
We still have to talk about the PSVR too. Just like now, Blake, stop. Mental health, right? Yeah. No, it's a thing. Women, but also, I don't know. The difference is that we're not allowed to show our emotions. They all say we want to show our emotions, but honestly, as soon as we show weakness, you run away from us. It's like, okay, well, you're either angry or you've cried in front of me. Now you're a big baby, and I have to take care of you. Maybe you're a mom. I'm moving out like, yeah. So it's really a tough situation, right? We got to be the provider, the protector, all that kind of stuff, and honestly, when there's something wrong or you want something, you don't want to straight up tell us what you want. Therefore, you don't get it, and then you don't get it, and then you get just getting pissed off, and there's a bunch of different things. But look, it's part of that straight up communication as well that we're not allowed to do. Yeah. And then often men are feel ashamed.
But that's the thing. I'm glad you said it like that. But in that regard, I don't think we should be speaking, like if you have a wife or girlfriend, whatever, I don't think she's the person that you should be talking to anyway.
Absolutely.
Right? There's plenty of professionals out there for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So, and your friends too, like definitely. Me and you kind of thing. Now, I want to disagree in principle because your spouse should be the person you talk to about things and work it out. But I think in practice that is not the good idea.
No, definitely not.
Because of the not gender, the sex dynamic between the sexes. Yeah,
because men and women process differently. They think differently,
and they want different things in life. And when you say when one of the sexes say certain things, it's not that it doesn't mean what they're saying, but it's a different place where it comes from, and the meaning and the response, not the response, but the meaning, but the intent is not the same. And existentially kind of thing. Yeah. And I think today's youth, from what I've noticed, a lot of people are on anxiety meds and whatnot.
At a younger age, I find.
Younger ages. Yeah. And it's part of upbringing and whatnot. But I, from my observation, and even how I grew up, like not defending myself against bullies and that type of stuff, you're afraid to get in trouble. And at this point, they're so afraid to get in trouble or speaking out against whatever ideology the government or the internet or whoever's trying to pass and push onto us. Yeah. We're not allowed to defend ourselves. Anybody who's actually like so quote unquote normal human being nowadays are not allowed to be like, hey, this is what I believe in. Like, no, you are not the minority, therefore you don't matter. Yeah. And this is through schools, at home with the parents, because social media and the government, the news, it's
social
all
media.
There.
Yeah, definitely.
And in the end, I think if you boil it down a little bit, it's about self-esteem quite a bit, but mainly the idea that we're not allowed to defend ourselves anymore, either verbally or physically. Like if somebody wants to come up to me and punch me as a bully or whatever, and then I retaliate, I defend myself as an animal on this planet, I'll fuck you up. However, I'm the one who's going to get sent to the principal's office. I'm the one who's going to go in jail. Yeah, and that's just for defending my safety. Yeah. And whether that's safety of mind or physical body.
Okay, let's get back to mental health.
That was mental health.
Now we're on bullying and stuff. So let's curb it back to...
Well, that's what I mean. But that's the idea. I think that a lot of the problems with the mental health issues is that we are not allowed to defend ourselves.
For sure. And I mean...
anxiety and stuff. I'm pretty sure.
And
you're not allowed to be you. You don't have an opinion.
They use social media and stuff like that. Like for, let's say, example for young girls. You know, that whole being skinny or clothes or makeup, whatever... You know,
there's some truth to that, but I'll tell you something. Yeah?
But we were younger. We didn't have that social media aspect.
Oh, right? big time. Yeah.
But the young girls, I remember, used to read these teen magazines and stuff.
Which is the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, same idea. Yeah. And it would push the ideal idea of beauty or whatever, right?
Yes. And from what I've been reading and understanding, women are more susceptible to suggestion and that kind of stuff and subliminal messages as opposed to direct messaging. But I had a couple of conversations with a few people how they said, look at these commercials and these advertisements. They're saying you have to buy this product to be attractive, blah, blah, blah. And this kind of idea, Botox, lip fillers. I'm like, who has ever told you that? And I will guarantee you, if you actually pay attention, it's from women, not from men. Like, because I don't want lip fillers, Botox. You look like a clown. You look like a plastic doll. Like it's gross. It's like there's nothing wrong with being a human.
Yeah.
Right. So these women were saying that, these commercials, this is what we're telling we have to do with these magazines. I'm like, no, it's a commercial. Because I've watched these commercials too. No, about your hair products and makeup and stuff. It's not telling you have to do this to be attractive. It's saying, hey, we have these products that do these things that are pretty nice.
But there's also...
You yourself are coming up with the idea that you have to do that to be attractive. But and also, then attractive for the opposite sex. Like it's
also is what
you're into.
It's what they don't say in those commercials. Right? Let's be like with the commercial, for example, where we're almost out of time on this subject, so I'll make this quick.
Yep.
Like, take most commercials. The women in the commercials are not plus size. They're not medium size.
They're models. But they have to understand that they are models. This is a marketing point.
Yeah. But
but parents aren't teaching that to kids either.
And but just visually always seeing the same image and seeing that skinny person, subliminally they're telling you that
Blake,
you should strive to be.
You don't look like Brad Pitt.
No.
Do you give a shit?
No, but then
exactly
that's part of the
psychological warfare there.
Mind of a man, mind of a woman, right?
I will even make the argument right now that social media and our society and the government and the news want you to believe that unless you're like a trans woman, so being male but trans, you're not attractive.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Right?
So that's it for that one for right now. I think that's an interesting topic. I think it could go on for longer than that.
Yeah.
Please, people, if you have opinions or something you want to say about it, please
comment, share, link, subscribe. Comment.
So we went to something a little deep there, and so we're gonna go lighthearted a little bit.
We're still a minute over our time for the next topic.
Yeah, it's not bad. So we're gonna talk about seafood and lobster.
Yeah.
So I know in the States, crawfish season just started.
So crawfish. So is that like
it looks
shrimp?
like a lobster?
Oh, lobster. Okay,
but it's smaller.
So like shrimp?
No, it's a crawfish. It's not the same as a shrimp. It's a crawfish.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'd like to find a picture to put that on the thing.
It looks like a lobster, but it's just a lot smaller.
Does it have like pincers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is one a crusher and one's a ripper?
No. They're more the same just pincher things.
Similar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they seem to, like in Louisiana and stuff like that, they seem to have like farms and stuff where they
breed and grow these things.
Yeah. So like freshwater, obviously.
Yep.
So we watch a lot of YouTube. I've seen a lot of videos on like crawfish boils, and man,
okay.
To me that looks fucking amazing.
Like a good gumbo.
I want to try it. I've been researching if I can
gumbo. I can make a gumbo.
No. I mean like a
proper crawfish boil.
Yeah, like
get them like live. Like, or maybe frozen, not
shipped to my door.
Yeah,
and then I can actually do one of these boils.
Yep,
right.
Cool. Yep.
And
I wonder if they scream like lobster.
You're funny.
Well,
and it looks like great, right? Like they put the corn in there, and they put small potatoes in there. They put sausage in there, pieces of sausage.
Chicken,
they put
spices.
They could put shrimp. Yeah, there's you can buy bottles of like a
Cajun
seasoning,
which I have and I love. But I'm pretty sure that's not what the Cajun do. I'm pretty sure they like make their own mix.
Yeah,
like family recipes and stuff.
But it looks freaking good.
Want to cook for me, Blake? Please.
No, I cook for my family. That's enough.
I'm not part of your family.
You're my friend. It's not the same.
I'm a friend.
And then, lobster's season is about to start here.
Oh, like how soon are we out? Out?
Lobster season should be underway. I know you guys are probably going to see this a little bit.
We're so terrible at this because unfortunately Blake has to work at the fish processing plant. And during that time it's super a lot of work, super long days, and not much time off, and then you have family. So we're pre-recording a few of these.
Yeah, definitely
for that time period.
And so lobster season is supposed to set off May 1st here.
May 1st, yeah.
Yep. And I love lobster.
Yeah, it's good. Sorry, it's expensive though. A little bit. I found, especially from growing up.
Last year was definitely higher. From rumors, from what I'm hearing right now, is that the price this year is not as high.
Oh,
so to start, especially, it'll be a bit lower than it was last year.
I'm wondering if it'll ever get to a point where, like, let's say locally, they're like, dude, this is not worth doing. It costs me actually more money to go and get this stuff than I'm actually making.
You know what? What happens is lobsters, like a lot of other things, it's a cycle, right? Okay. So you get some really, really, really good years.
Right, but right? That's mostly to do with the amount of catch you have.
Yeah, but
right?
then in some years...
Not about the price of the actual market.
By the catch is what determines the price. If the lobster is abundant...
Then it's a lower price.
Yes, because there's so much of it. But if it...
You know what? We should artificially mess with that. Like artificially, as in fish less, so that we have more lobster for the future.
But I think what they're...
Smart.
But I think what they're doing is like...
Good.
Like with us here now, like we literally don't have any canners left. Right? That measure of a lobster under
like
a
the
pound...
certain size, under a pound-ish,
is not a thing here anymore. Right?
Like you're not allowed to catch them, or you are allowed to catch them?
No, you can't keep them. Like
you can't keep them.
They have to grow.
Oh, to the market.
So now it's just market.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's and when we say market, that can vary from like 1 pound, like in a pound,
to like 3, 4, 5.
No, a market. You can get a 10-pound market. Like,
oh, really?
And it's just all in that market range.
And what we mean by market and canners, market are the larger lobster that gets to go to the fancy restaurants and go in the tanks and that kind of stuff. And canners are the smaller ones that people are like scoff at.
Quite in simple.
And put in cans and
anything under a pound is a canner.
Okay.
Anything above a pound is a market.
Right.
That's
simple distinction. Okay, fair.
Right?
And for us, growing up like with lobster, and ridiculousness, but the marketing of this food.
Yeah.
Like when not when we were growing up necessarily, because it was kind of like, oh, it's a cool thing, especially if your parents fished and you were fairly more well off if you're a lobster fisherman. But in my dad's day, like my mom used to tell me all the time, after a storm, they would wash up on the beach and stuff and people would go pick them up. But even the fish lobster, for even just the food for survival, because that's how it was here for like my parents' time.
Yeah.
You fished, you hunted, you farmed, because the grocery stores didn't have these things. You had like flour and sugar and stuff. But you had to survive off the land.
Yeah. But it's interesting too how
so you were poor if you ate lobster. Like this is
it was
like,
a poor,
even between the poor,
it was a poor
if you ate lobster.
It was a poor person food.
Yeah.
And like you said, like seeing it now and you see it on social media and all these things and they promote it and now it's rich people food, right? Like, I had lobster or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Right? And then what you don't understand between the sizes, age, and market and canners is like, you don't want the markets.
No, you don't.
The canners are the tasty ones.
Yes, exactly. And when you see like a 10, 15-pound lobster on somebody's plate,
it's huge.
You think, like, in my mind, because I've been in the industry for fucking like 19,
all your life,
19 years. Yep. You're a noob. You don't know lobster. You're a tourist. They targeted you. They got you. You paid that price for a huge ass lobster. That's not worth it.
Taste, texture.
Yeah.
And they're like they're bugs of the sea, right? So they have no feelings.
Yeah. but it's a thing, right?
Exoskeleton, cold-blooded.
And you know what's really good? Like speaking of lobster,
I think
you cook lobster, right? And you take the lobster out of your boiling hot water with your salt and stuff.
Yeah, with tongs because it's hot. The water,
obviously. And you take
and when you cook it, please just go to the water. Like the
salt water if you can.
Like bucket the
that's
water
even better.
The water, like to me, I call it the water because it's the water because the river and then the ocean and things. But like, don't put fresh water and put fucking salt in there. Go outside.
Well, some people don't have that option. Some people don't have that option. If you have the option,
Mr. Fancy, I'm rich, living in Ontario, getting lobster. No, you don't eat lobster. You're living in Ontario. You have like beef maybe or something. Jeez.
But also, if you cook your lobster and say if you like mussels and stuff like that, you take mussels, cook it in the same water you'll never eat a mussel
too.
No, you'll never eat mussels again any other way besides that way. I guarantee you.
It's like kind of making like Jack Daniels.
Oh, it
has to be from bourbon cask or bourbon or wine cask.
At this point, I've always loved mussels.
Yeah,
and before I would eat them, like go anywhere, eat them like they were. Now, if they're not
like, because they're expensive too, man.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah. But if they're not cooked in lobster
juice,
no, don't want it. I just don't want it. And I mean, you could cook crab legs like that. Like
Well, anything really.
Yeah,
you're essentially cooking more seafood in fish broth.
Yeah, but also
crustacean broth.
Some people can't because allergies, whatever. Some people are allergic to lobster, or crab, or
I'm sure if you're fairly allergic to any kind of seafood, you'd be like, I'm going to stay away from that.
Or even shrimp. Like if you took shrimp in the shell and just cooked it in that lobster juice, right?
Lobster is beautiful. So, actually, I was watching sailing YouTube videos at one point, and they made their own fish broth essentially, but they would take the discarded parts of fish, like the head, and lobster, like the body part. Although my mom loved the lobster paste,
a lot of people,
but the head and things, and the body really, and they made their own fish broth with that. Yeah, and lately we've been cooking like essentially stews, or fricots or whatever. And my brother doesn't drink the juice. I have it like a soup.
Oh yeah, I'm like you. I need soup. Like,
and if there's anything left, I freeze that, man, because that's a good broth. That's like real actual broth, right?
And if you're thinking about going to the Maritimes and stuff, this time of year is the best. If you're a seafood person, it's the time to go.
But they're starting May 1st, and if you're super lucky and not lazy or personable, you could probably even go up to that. Now, don't get in the way, because they're working. The shit's heavy. It's hard work, and they've been out all day. But you could probably potentially even get a seafood lobster,
or even get
right off the boat when they come in. Look at the boat.
If you speak to the captains or something like that, some people will take you out and give you the experience.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Yeah, it can be.
It's fun. Yeah. I enjoy it. I went for a couple at work over time, but I went with my brother-in-law a few times, and it was good. Unfortunately, I didn't work as hard as I should have, and really do that for 4 months straight. But
well, it's 2 months at a time, right? The season.
Okay.
The first season is May, June. Second season is mid-August, all the way to like October 8th.
Yep.
So
interesting. Thank you.
All right. So final subject.
Final. Oh, we're doing good, aren't we?
We're going to the spicier subject, like I said.
Spicy. Oh, polygamy.
Polygamy and polyamory. So polygamy is
what this is
when you
into all of it.
Have more than one wife or a husband.
So that is, now in this case, does that mean it's polygamy towards one individual?
It's either or, like
it's whatever sex, but it refers to stereotypically,
the male having multiple wives,
having multiple wives,
yes,
or stereotypically, I guess, equivalent, because why wouldn't that exist? I think it exists more. Anyway, the female having multiple husbands. Yeah. Okay, so that's polygamy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So as far as that goes, first off, it is illegal in Canada.
What?
Yeah, it's not. It's not legal in Canada.
I'm moving somewhere else.
It's not legal in the States either.
Then how come they have TV shows on this?
Okay, well, there's loopholes, right?
What do you mean?
Like, I know you're referring to Sister Wives right now, that TV show.
Sure, TV shows, yeah.
So what they don't all live in one house, right?
Apparently they're all separate. Yeah, of course you live in one house.
But they don't. They don't. They bought a cul-de-sac, and there was 4 or 5 houses in that cul-de-sac, and each wife lived in, and he would just split his time between houses.
No, we're sharing a bed. No, not happening. No. Well, maybe a few houses, but not like that.
And legally, he was only married to the one.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. Right? Sure. Yeah.
I'm not saying they didn't have their own ceremonies out of the establishment.
Out of the legal establishment. Yeah, sure, right? Sure. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Yeah, but so that's polygamy. Okay, now, personally, for me, I don't think I could do it.
Oh, man.
Because I have a hard time. No, I have a hard time dealing with one woman's emotions and feelings. I can't.
Taking care of someone, not dealing with, taking care of.
Well, dealing, like, just like she deals with my emotions and feelings or whatever. Like,
yeah, because you're an asshole. I'll say it right here, right now.
Is what it is. But, like, you deal and help a
you're
person.
With a person. You're living with a person. And there's one thing about dating and me seeing you for
few hours
more these days, but a few hours a day.
Yeah.
But then living with somebody.
Yeah.
You're farting, like, there's nothing to hide. This is me.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people I don't think really understand is that, hey, once you're living with somebody, now you're living with them as if, like, you can't hide. You got to be your authentic self. Because
if you want it to work.
If you want it to work, you have to be authentic. Otherwise, you're going to be trapped. The whole mental health thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I don't think, have been taught or know what real life is. We put a lot of emphasis or our belief systems. Even Disney, I was like dating girls doing the whole Disney kind of thing, and girls like, no. And I'm done talking to my female friends, and they're like, no, don't do Disney. Why? You all cry and you love it. And you're like, I wish I had a handsome man like that. Like, yeah, but it's fake though. But you say you wish you had that.
but and then like think about this: you have one wife, and say you have a kid or kids with said wife.
Yeah.
And so you're dealing with the wife and taking care of meeting her needs, like emotionally and all that stuff.
So are you telling me you're
wait? Let me run up my point here.
Yep.
And then you have kids, so you do the same with the kids, right? Raise your kids, you parent and all that stuff.
Life. So your attention's less to each other.
Yeah. Right. But then you multiply that.
Having more kids,
3 wives, and then
that's why you have more kids, so they take care of each other.
no, but think about it, man. There is no time for yourself at that point.
Man, I have,
you said earlier, mental health. Give me the gun now. Give me the gun now. I'll just do it now.
And I guess that comes back to the dynamic of family, the dynamics within a household, and having the mom, like a stay-at-home mom, to help with that kind of burden.
Yeah. But I suppose,
but it's hard. Like,
but that
I agree. Like, I don't have kids, and partly because I haven't found somebody to really want to settle down and have kids with. But right now, whenever I think about having kids, I'm like, there's no possible way. Like, my dog is enough, and he can't talk back.
Yeah. But and what you just said there, I could see maybe in that scenario,
and even just how much I care about him and worry about him, like a human.
That scenario of polygamy, where
polygamy, yeah,
say you have more than a wife.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
If that works for you guys, though, in the aspect that wife number 2 is the wife that stays home and raises
right, like
it takes care of the kids, while wife 1 and wife 3 and husband
you organize each other.
Right?
Like you're a team.
Yeah, definitely.
And the more the merrier, like cost.
And I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way.
Like housewearing. Oh my god, I hate housewearing so much.
The attempt is, we're not shitting on nothing, right?
No.
If this works for you, or whatever works for you, as long as you're not hurting kids or whatever.
Yeah, it's okay. Even me, born in '82, and the way that media and stuff, equality and respect, and how I grew up. I'm almost appalled that a lot of females are still taking those traditional gender role stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're okay with it. That's what they want. Like one of my sisters, anyway, all of them. But
yeah.
But I'm like, don't you want more? Or not more, but more independent. I don't even know the words, but then the answer is no. Like he provides this, and I enjoy these things. Yeah. I enjoy. I'm like, oh, it's very interesting. But just I guess the fight for the more independent or the more outside of that. But then the problem is also when I look at other people who are like super against being a housewife or a caretaker or whatever, life giver, I don't know what it is, but they're so on the opposite spectrum that it's not about a partnership. It's not about, hey, let's, like, for me, if I'm in the house, like, let's do this together, because I hate doing things by myself. Like, if I'm alone, nothing happens. Yeah. But if you're over, like cleaning the house, I'm like, oh, it's such a task. But if there's somebody there with me, they don't even have to help. Like, oh, okay, cool. I'm hanging out while I'm doing what I need to do. But then if we did it as a team, then that's great. Because teamwork.
Okay,
do
so
it together. Anyway,
so now, so that was
my opinion.
Polygamy.
Polygamy, right?
And then there's polyamory, right?
Right.
Which is when one person has multiple romantic relationships.
So there's the main couple, and then they have romantic relationships outside of that.
Yeah. And it's not a secret. Like it's pretty open on both sides.
There's a rule.
Whatever rules.
An agreement.
And that varies from couple to couple.
Yeah, absolutely.
If
it's both mutually agreed upon and respectful and
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it works.
Unprotected sets, man, children outside / diseases. It's no fucking laughing matter.
No, and I mean, I'm sure it works for some people.
Yep.
I'm sure it doesn't for others. Like, I think it depends a lot on the partner you're with and the honesty that two people share.
Oh, straight up, like equally mutually beneficial polygamy. It's always in the favor of the female. don't be stupid, guys. If you think you're gonna get laid, you're not. But she is.
Right, but it's a thing, and it has to be open and stuff like that. But I think those things also come with risk.
A lot of risk, like bonding and
yeah.
that part of the trust and. But then, and you think you're polyamory, but then you find somebody else, which ain't legit enough, and like, that person's actually super sweet compared to my dude, or vice versa, and my girl, and then
they end up separating.
Yeah, absolutely,
and it happens, right? But when you decide to open that can of worms, that
it's a can of worms,
and
whether you believe it or not,
and anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
So you might go in with certain intentions, but that can be derailed at any point.
Yeah, like every time I ask for a threesome, like maybe I like her more than you. I'm like, maybe
she'll like her more than you too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's okay. But now they kick me out.
But yeah, so that's it for this episode.
Oh, really? We're done? Oh, yeah, we are done.
Yep.
Oh, really? That was quick. Good topics.
It was brief, but hopefully, if you guys have questions, comment, concerns, Carl's going to tell you what to do.
If you want to go on a date, please message me.
But also comment, link.
Oh, subscribe, share, comment, please. Yeah, we love it. We love the attention and the likes. Like you, it's not just women that like this on social media. We do too. Well, I do anyway. I'm fairly feminine, metrosexual. I've been told a few times.
So
I'm not going to lose this.
Thanks for joining us again. Until next time.